Hi, Anaya here. Welcome back to my channel, Temple Alchemy Tarot. I'm here to give a collective reading, so only take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. I'm going to go ahead and ring my chimes and let's tap in and get today's message where we're going to focus on your 2025 year at a glance. All right, so I have put together 6 piles. I've got the other 3 on the lower part of my screen here. And each pile is going to represent 2 months at a time. And we're going to do a glance at your 2025 year that's coming up ahead. So we're going to first begin with January, February. Those are our first 2 months in 2025. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the universe has in store for you. So here we have our theme card, the stone. Ooh, look at this. So somebody, viewer, you look like you're coming into your philosopher's stone. You are refining, you are sharpening, you are learning how to balance the technology between your mind, your body, and your spirit, as represented by the circle, the square, and the triangle. Very, very beautiful, very, very powerful energy. 2025 is already going to be starting off with a lot of powerful self actualization. All right, and then our next card here, we have friendship. Number 17 and number 8 may be of significance to you in the months of January and February 2025. So you are deepening your relationship with yourself, viewer, as you are going inward for deep growth, healing, and just really a general sense of self actualization. I think that's the key word for the months of January and February for you. You are deepening your connection with yourself, you are deepening your spiritual practice, and of course, not surprised to see that the next clarifying card here for your January February months is the Hermit. So, you are really kicking off this new year with deep introspection, spiritual knowledge, self reflection, and ultimately a deeper sense of self awareness. Very powerful energy for 2025. And then here we have homeless, failure, cast away, and poor. So, this is making me think that you are coming out of and or shifting your notions of what wealth, success, and satisfaction means and or looks like in your life, viewer. You may have previously thought that materiality was the only thing you needed to give your focus and attention to. And of course, while we live in a capitalist society and we live on and in the earth realm, we require money in order to fulfill some of our basic needs. But is money truly wealth? Is money truly everything? And with this homeless card here, it's shaking up your notions of the fact that being spiritually rich means that you are experiencing some level of scarcity or poverty. This makes me think a little bit of asceticism, where monks go into deep spiritual practice and they completely do the extreme of materialism. They swing the pendulum all the way to the other end, where they are focused purely on nourishing the spirit and the soul at the expense of the body. So the body ends up being neglected, rejected, abandoned, and viewed as something that is lesser than because it is our vehicle to operate in this denser reality. So you're going to be shifting your ideas around spirituality and this being an aspect of your wealth. You don't have to experience this homeless energy in order to be a spiritual person. Spiritual people can also be financially and economically stable and affluent and abundant. So, these concepts of materialism versus spirituality, these ideas, this duality is a false duality because we are both spirit and physical at our essence, in our construction. And so everything that we're navigating in our world is going to be both a combination of spirit, energy, and materiality, as these ideas cannot be divorced from each other, but in fact, they're mutually inclusive. So where there's matter, there's spirit, and likely where there's spirit, there's some matter. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull two cards of advice for you, viewer, for the months of January and February 2025. Already, this year is starting off with a powerful, powerful spiritual message. All right, so here we have the Five of Wands in the reverse as part of your caution, your advice, followed by the High Priestess, and she is also in reverse. All right, so this is letting me know that your advice for January, February is all about stepping into the truth of who you are. There's some issue here with secrecy, with hiding. Maybe you felt like you've always had to hide yourself, viewer, or cloak your spiritual abilities, skills, desires. This has been a bit of an emerging theme over the past few weeks. This concept of spirituality, psychic gifts being hidden. And really, I'm not surprised by this at all because we have this Pluto and Capricorn dynamic that has been around for the past 18 or so years. And this has caused a lot of heavy energy for many of us, which could explain why the secrecy, which could explain why certain aspects of your spirituality you may have subdued or submerged for the sake of material acquisition because, hey, in a capitalist society, you need to survive, right? You got to pay those bills, right? So you may have parked your spiritual abilities aside, has been part of the theme emerging in the readings the past few weeks. And so that secrecy energy is surely here. So in the beginning of 2025, you are still going to be shedding away these layers of hiding, shedding away these layers of masks that you may be or may have worn in the past to protect yourself. Okay. Now, of course, use your discernment, but this is really a message here of warning you to not go back into your shell. You are taking so much action in the months leading up to 2025 that you are coming out of your shell. You are finally embracing who you are as a spiritual being. You are dusting things off and refreshing them, looking at them anew. And Spirit is guiding you and showing you what to do, how to use these skills and abilities, and how to use them in a way that can sustain you on a physical level. So, for some of you, as you step further into embracing your spiritual skills, talents, abilities, your intuition, this could turn into some sort of lucrative opportunity. Maybe this is going to help expand your current career. Or maybe 2025 is your time to pivot into developing that spiritually based business or career venture that you've been thinking about for the past decade or more, but it just didn't feel like the right time, or maybe you just didn't have the tools or the community or the support. But now is the time. So, here with the Five of Wands reverse, this is also making me think of staying away from conflict, perhaps. But in combination with the High Priestess reverse, what this makes me think of is that any kind of lowly energy, evil eye, curses, defamation, any kind of negative energy that might be sent to you in this High Priestess reverse energy here, anything that's being sent to you out of this is going to fail. And it's going to fail because precisely you are now stronger than you have ever been spiritually, viewer. So, this is really a time of your spiritual awakening. This is a time of your spiritual revelation. You're seeing how to make your wisdom, skills, and knowledge applicable in a practical way that can both nourish you physically, economically, and in turn nourish those whom you are here to share your skills, talents, gifts, and abilities with. So, very beautiful start to your 2025. That concludes your January, February glance. So, now let's take a look at March, April. Okay, and here is our March, April pile. And our theme for those months will be the unseen. Look at this beautiful spiritual motif and theme and focus is really taking root and expanding in 2025. It's almost as if we're stepping into a new timeline, a new era, but really this is akin to that Capricorn energy shifting and Pluto coming out of heavy Capricorn, where things might be dense and hidden, and now coming out into Aquarian energy. So the unseen spirituality is going to continue to be at the core of your foundation for 2025. Protection. The number one may be significant at this time. And again, this is March, April. Followed by the Seven of Cups. This is Neptune in Scorpio energy. Followed by withdrawal, quit, awakening, and rejection. So, as I was mentioning before, as we saw in the cards for January, February, you are in a spiritual uptick. There is huge spiritual evolution and growth happening for you. You're stepping into your power. You're no longer denying yourself. You are leaning into radical self-acceptance as a core pillar of your now evolving spiritual practice. And also, you really coming home to yourself, okay? So in these months, we're going to see this protection energy continue to work in your favor, which is a build on what we saw for January and February, where the High Priestess reverse came along with the Five of Wands reverse. Anyone trying to influence you, curse you, disrupt you, mess with your energy in 2025, they're going to be blocked because you are truly protected in every direction, in the spiritual, the physical, across all timelines, realms, and dimensions. You are protected. So it looks like you're going to have a lot of options present themselves to you on what to do with your spiritual gifts and abilities. Again, you're now acknowledging, you're stepping into greater self-acceptance, and the next steps for your March, April months is going to be how can you apply this in a way that is satisfying for you? Which option should you choose? There are so many things that you can do with your skills and your talents, your psychic gifts, whatever they may be. You could start a YouTube channel. You could start a healing clinic. You could write a book. You could create a podcast. Whatever the case may be, you are going to have a wealth of options presenting themselves to you. And so for these months, you're going to need to really get clear on what your focus is. All right? What your target audience is. What are you trying to fulfill? What are your personal goals in executing your soul's highest path and purpose as you are now leaning into greater spiritual presence and just a greater spiritual precedent in your life moving forward, okay? Now, with this withdrawal card here, quit, awakening, rejection, I find the word withdrawal really interesting. It's a bit of a tongue twister for me, it seems like. But you'll have so many options. It might feel inundating for you when March and April roll around, okay? That spring energy slowly coming around. You might feel overwhelmed with options, and what Spirit and Source Creator wants you to know is don't quit. This is a core part of your development, of your awakening. Don't deny it and don't reject it. You are protected and you are safe to explore these different options that are presenting themselves to you. Don't be overwhelmed. Take your time. You are being set up for success by Spirit. So let that energy guide you for those months. So now we're going to look at May, June. Got our pile here. So for May, June, our theme card is the Creator. Look at this. We have quite the evolving narrative here. The Creator. So once you tap into what the Seven of Cups energy, once you get clear on what it is that you want to focus on with your spiritual talents and abilities, how you want to direct it, what it's going to look like, what form it's going to take, you'll be in this beautiful, artistic, creative energy. So the world is your oyster. Look at this. The world is your oyster. Literally, as I said the words, here is the Earth card, number 11, which breaks down to number 2. All right, so you are learning how to manipulate the clay of reality and make concrete changes. Then here we have the Empress. So there's great fertility energy coming in here. Look at this Earth and this Empress energy. The Empress is governed by Venus. And with Earth energy here, we're looking at Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. So this is a very fertile time for you, okay? Your body may be going through some transformations once we hit May, June. And you may be feeling invigorated. Again, May, June, this is early spring energy, still mid-spring. And the Empress is literally the growing garden, the sweet dew off the trees, the new buds that are growing. This is abundance in its finest form. And it is with you, in you. It is you, Empress, Emperor. You are a human of abundance. And this is finally going to come into being in May, June. All right, so there's a natural progression here. First, at the beginning of 2025, you're going to be accepting your spiritual gifts. Then your next progression is that you're going to really lean further into the unseen. So it's like the rabbit hole has opened up for you. The door to Narnia has been unlocked, and you are now stepping through the threshold and crossing over into a new reality that instead of it being purely material and void of any spirit, your world is going to be thoroughly transformed. It's almost like your world is going to become, how would I say it, very Mary Poppins esque. I see you looking at the world with brand new eyes, and you seeing the music, the vibration, the energy, the color, the essence of everything. You now see yourself as the creator, but you also see the creator in everything. And this is all around you in a very concrete earth like energy. So, you walking into a forest where previously it was just, some trees and some green and whatever. Maybe you didn't value it that much. But in the months of May and June, you are going to deepen your relationship with the natural world. You're going to walk into a forest, and all of a sudden, you're going to hear all the sounds, all the chirps. You're going to hear the flickers, the woodpeckers. You're going to hear the nuthatches. You're going to hear the chickadees, the crows, whatever birds live in your area, whatever nature and wildlife characterizes the environment, the geographical location that you're in, you're going to tap into this in a way where it's almost like it's going into high definition. Literally, like new spiritual eyes are going to be given to you. Look at this with the sneak peek card. New spiritual eyes are being given to you, viewer. You're going to see the world now with a whole new lens. This makes me think a bit of, if you're into the Anne Rice series or just any kind of vampire narrative, that it's like when the vampire or when you get bit by a vampire and all of a sudden your eyes change, your genes change, your blood makeup changes, and your eyes completely shift in color. And now you see everything, as I say, in this high definition, full color, in a way you've never seen it before. It's like you're given brand new eyes. So you can look forward to that. In the spring, your spiritual vision will increase. You will be able to see much clearer the spiritual force and energy behind all objects, animate and inanimate, all the same. They're all part of Creator and all part of creation. And you are deepening your relationship with your very ability to create, the act of creation and manifestation, but you're also deepening your connection to Source Creator of all that is. So here we're going to look at July, August. July, August, we have the King. So that is going to be your theme. As we hit the beginning of summer, you are going to be in this fiery King energy. Check out this beautiful color display here. The reds, the oranges, the yellows. This is the fire of summer. And you have it in the palm of your hand. It's very interesting. In this image, it looks like a seal has been impressed into this person's palm, a red seal, the King. This is just further validating for you, viewer, that you will come to realize that you have a very important role in the world. Everyone is special and has a unique composition and is here to fulfill a unique path and purpose. There is no one better than the other. We are all here on our adventure, our hero's journey to increase our enlightenment, to make ourselves vessels of pure, shining light, clarity, understanding, accountability, balance. This is you learning that it's all about the golden path, the middle way. Look at this. It looks like a golden pearl or something straddled in between this person's four fingers, that is your marker. That is your compass. The gold path, the yellow brick road. Stay balanced. So this is where once summer rolls around, your trajectory, viewer, is that you are going to be stamped further with a seal of approval by no one else other than yourself, as you are finally going to come into this self-acceptance. Source Creator made you in a very particular way. You were designed for very particular functions. And now you are going to finally see that for the first time. Maybe you were swayed by the heaviness of materialism or whatever extremes that may have been distracting you, keeping you unsettled, on your toes, walking on eggshells. Whatever it is that kept you away from this middle path is being cleared, as now your vision has been cleared by late spring. So now that we are in summer with this king energy, you are finally stepping into your power, your self-confidence, and you see truly, clearly that you are a very foundational, very important piece of life. And when you step into your power and self-actualization, everybody wins. This is such a gorgeous card. Beautiful, fiery energy. So that makes sense. The nature of summertime and all that high fire that we've got. The sun is at its peak. It's the brightest time of year. And you, viewer, are also going to be shining at your brightest, especially when it comes to your confidence and greater self-awareness. Spirit, come on through with the accuracy in these messages. Psychic. The numbers 48 and the numbers 12 and number 3 can be important for you. So with the number 48, we have a 4 for solid foundation, and then that 4 is being double solid foundation. So solid foundation in the physical, but also solid foundation in the spiritual with the 8. That is our input output, right? That's our figure 8 design. This is input of energy, output of energy. This is a closed circuit in full function. So your psychic abilities are going to be that much clearer as a result. You are staying focused and manifesting, and you are receiving guidance as this number breaks down ultimately to the number 3. A number of guidance, support, and community. So by the time summer rolls around, you are going to be at the pinnacle of your psychic development and growth, and you will truly be sitting on your throne with full confidence and clarity in who you are. So this is wonderful. This is a powerful time. 2025, viewer, is all about your spiritual transformation, but also your, how do I say? I want to say like energetic inculcation, like you're being imbued, right? Everything is getting turned up to spiritual high definition. It's the best way I can describe it. And here we have the 5 of Pentacles. Followed by family, bond, home, and background. So paired with the 5 of Pentacles, what this is showing me here is that you may have felt like an outsider. You may have felt like an outsider from your blood relatives, your family, your birth family, from society at large. This could be precisely because of your spiritual talents and abilities, but this could also be anchored in something superficial. The way you look, some aspect of your background, your culture, your race, your gender, your ability, your class, okay? Whatever the case may be, you may not have felt like you belonged in society or even belonged in your family, okay? Because you have such strong psychic skills and talents. So by the time the summer rolls around, you are going to be the king of this sun energy. Your psychic abilities are going to be on 10. You are going to be such a clear channel. Input, output, information is flowing with the figure 8, and you're grounded, so you're clear on who you are. And this clarity is going to create a line of division in your life. There are going to be some people who are just not going to be able to follow you on this next leg of your journey. Folks that don't resonate with spiritual practice, folks that perhaps are just not at that place in their spiritual development at this time. And that's okay. We're all here developing, and we're all here on our hero journey, and we're developing at our own pace. Okay? There's no better or worse. There's just natural pace and evolution, and everyone's soul is in a different place with where their growth is happening or how things are evolving for them. And that's a part of life. When you walk into a garden, not all of the flowers are going to be at the full bloom. You'll have some at full bloom. You'll have some that have just burst out of the seed and are just now coming out through the ground, exposing their leaves to the sun for the first time. Some of them are going to be buds, just now opening up to expose their leaves or their petals. So we're all very much in different places in our evolution. It doesn't make us better or worse. It's just the cycles of life. So here you're going to find yourself, when summer arrives, you may have to walk away from some family members. You may have to walk away from people who don't want to understand you, even if they don't share your beliefs. They may not want to have tolerance. I don't like the notion of tolerance. It's like you're putting up with something. So this makes me think more of just folks that are not going to accept you, or that just don't want to understand. Even if they don't share the same thoughts, they may not want to understand. So you're going to end some relationships. Okay, viewer, come summertime, when you're at the peak of your fire power, you are going to be making the decision between who is your tribe, who is your community that will nourish you, that will love you, that you can share a bond with, where you will feel validated, uplifted, and supported. And then you're going to start walking away from family members, people, concepts in society that are not serving you, that don't want to understand you, that are showing complete opposition or just making themselves your opposition in some way, shape, or form, okay? So you're going to be embracing new community because people are going to see you in your shiny, wonderful, glorious king energy. And the beautiful part about this is that you're going to know who's for you and who's not for you, because your psychic energy is going to be at its peak. So you're going to know. You're going to know, king, queen of fire, human of fire, you will know. So September, October. Okay, we're going to take a look here. This is our fall energy for 2025. The riddle. Perfect. And we see that Trinity, that threefold energy there, showing that guidance. But also 3, as in the third house, this is very much mercurial energy. This is Mercury who has riddles for us. This is the trickster, okay? This is also, Hermes Trismegistus, okay? The magician, all right? The shapeshifter. So when we have the riddle, we've stepped into some higher alchemical level of our magic. Our inner magician is illuminated, and we are now participating in the dance of life with greater self-awareness and empowerment and co-creation. And we are stepping into the mystery, making ourselves a part of the riddle. Here we have jealousy with the number 23, which breaks down to the number 5. So that's really interesting. As you step further into your mercurial magician energy, as you refine come the fall and the natural progression of your spiritual evolution in 2025, you are in your power, and now you're graduating and evolving into higher alchemical states of manifestation, self-awareness, and just understanding what creates this particle reality and how you can utilize it to participate in bringing into the world that which you were brought here to bring into the world via your gifts and abilities. So there may be some jealousy that you might experience, because remember, back at the summer that we just saw, you're going to be creating community that's going to validate you and uplift you. And then on the other hand, you're going to be releasing and letting go of old relations and connections, old thoughts and old notions, okay, that just don't resonate with you moving forward in this way in your life, okay? It's not good or bad. This is just a natural aspect of life. Things ebb and flow. They come and go. All right. Then here we have the Eight of Wands. So this Eight of Wands plus the jealousy is making me think here that as you are stepping into your power in in the fall, you might start to notice that some communications start coming through around jealousy. Other people coveting this new version of yourself, this newly alchemized version of yourself. And people are going to have some things to say with this Eight of Wands. All right. People might even travel to you and get in your face, tell you what they want to tell you with this jealousy energy. Okay. 23 breaks down to 5. That is big change, which can be upsetting. It can feel like conflict, as 5 is the most unstable of the numerology. It's smack dab in the middle. So this is where you're literally, making big shifts. You're clicking, okay? This has all been about your evolution and your enlightenment and your growth, all right? You're now stepping into a higher state of being and working in the world. You see the world now with brand new eyes, deeper understanding. You see beyond the superficial and you see straight into the depths of things, and you see the nuances. So things aren't just topical like they may have once been before. Before, the rock was just a rock. But now the rock to you is a multifaceted matrix of energy. Okay? It could be something like that. And it may not even have to be so wordy. It's more about the feeling, the experience, how you interact with reality now is evolving. And some people are jealous. It's like, what? Who is this person? They've changed so much. They're in their power in a way I've never seen them before. And look, they're manifesting all these things. This jealousy can come from people that you've known. And this jealousy can come from total and complete strangers who are going to be watching you. All right? You may be in the public eye with your work or whatever you're offering spiritually. And it's getting attention, both positive attention and also negative attention in the form of those who are motivated and inspired by you. But instead of leaning into that inspirational energy, they're leaning into why does that person get to have that? I should have it. Okay. So again, this is fed by a scarcity mentality that that person or people might be holding. And we have the conflict card. Difference, disputation, and quarrel. See, look at that. The inevitable differences. So as we saw in the previous set of cards there, right around midsummer, you're going to be deciding, right, like what you're keeping. You're sifting through what you want, who you want to keep around you, and what has to go. And some people are not going to go easily. some people are going to fight tooth and nail to demand access to your energy, to demand that you give them explanations on why you're doing what you're doing. Why are you so different all of a sudden? Now you're talking about spirituality. Now you're talking about life is important. What is this? You never cared much about trees before. We used to just hang out and have drinks and watch sports shows or whatever it may have been that you were doing previously that others became comfortable with you, knowing you in a certain way, in a certain light. But now 2025 is just completely transforming you, viewer. Like you are literally a snake shedding its skin. You are coming into a brand new way of being, and some people are not gonna like it. They're not gonna like this new you. They're gonna want to confront you with this Eight of Wands energy. They want to get in your face and tell you what they think and how they feel. So let's go ahead and pull 2 cards of advice before we move into our final months here, which is November, December. But let's get some advice here for our September, October. So we've taken a look at the months of January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October is what we're looking at currently. So let's get some words of advice when this conflict energy, when this jealous energy steps to you and gets in your face, because here you are, brand new, in your power. It's almost like you're commanding the universe. You're just singing or whistling your little Mary Poppins songs, and birds seem to follow you. There's an extra spring in your step, a little extra shine emanating off of your skin. And some people are not going to like that. Oh, well. Oh, well. Okay, that's not about you. That's about them. You're not the kind of person, viewer, from the cards I see here. You don't rub things in people's faces. You're not that kind of a person. So you are modest and you are focused. And in 2025, that focus is really turning to spirituality in a functional, practical way where it meets the material realm and it all makes sense. So, advice for you. We have the King of Wands, reverse, followed by the Five of Pentacles. All right, all right, all right. So you see what I'm saying here? You see what I'm saying? There's somebody in this King of Wands reverse energy who you likely knew, who was one of those people that you culled, you let go of back in the summer of 2025. You're going to let go of this person. They're no longer in alignment with you. They don't want to understand you. They're making themselves your opposition. So, you know what? We're no longer compatible. So let's go our separate ways, right? Sounds easy, but not for this person. This King of Wands reverse wants to be in your face. They want to confront you. They are angry. This is someone who is hostile, someone who might try to physically intimidate you. All right? This is someone who can particularly, they might be very attractive superficially to look at on a physical level, but when you get to know this person more on the inside, they're not a very nice person. They are filled with a lot of unresolved anger that is covering up some deep pain for them. And this is something they're not processing. So the fact that you are growing, you're staying focused on yourself, you're seeing evolutions because of the work that you're doing, the self-investment, the discipline, you're committing to yourself and the spiritual development. And this person may be in a state of confusion about their own life path. They don't know how, or they can't see the next steps forward for what healing looks like for them. And so, because you are this great, powerful healing energy, viewer, and you are just going to be stepping even more in your power in 2025, it's going to be palpable. It's going to be, your shine is going to be so brilliant that just your presence in around people that you used to hang out with is going to feel uncomfortable. It's no longer going to feel like a familiar buddy that you're hanging out with and you can chill and, kick up your feet. It's not going to be that vibe. It's going to be this palpable conflict energy, like we are oil and water. We are no longer allies. And in fact, maybe you weren't allies with whoever this person is, but you just thought so. Your friendship, your relation, it could have been built on something superficial. It could have been built on convenience. Okay? But now that you're stepping into your power and you're evolving, you're a whole new human. And so you're clear now. You're just like, hey, okay, you know what? We don't resonate. That's okay. Let's move on. Let's move forward. This King of Wands is refusing. They are refusing. They are angry that they're losing you in their life. This person feels a deep sense of spiritual poverty in contrast to your spiritual abundance and wealth, viewer. That's where this jealousy, evil eye energy is coming in. It's also explaining this riddle energy, this riddle card that we have. So the riddle is representing you peaking in your magicianship. You're in a new level of transmutation. You've put in the work. You've been putting in the work so far for all of 2025. And by the time you hit September, October, you are going to be that much more in your power. You're going to be ready for when that Hallows Eve energy rolls around, when the veil gets thin again. You are going to be plugged in, tapped in, and it will be that much easier for you to communicate with your ancestors. It'll be easier for you to communicate with any energies beyond the veil, and you're going to be able to manifest rapidly. Look at the stars in this card and what looks like a planet at the very center of this knot. So you're weaving. You're understanding the riddles of life. It's no longer a mystery to you. It's no longer a riddle to you. You understand the cycles. You're more calculated now. You're playing chess, viewer. You see things ahead. You look at moon cycles ahead in advance. You look at tarot readings like this one in advance so that you can prepare yourself for the coming months. This is your new way of operating. You are now playing a game, as it were, of spiritual and physical chess, of multi-dimensional chess. Pardon me, I said chest. That's interesting. That might have something to do with it for some of you. But you're going to be looking ahead, is what I mean by playing the spiritual game of chess. You're no longer just going to live day by day, okay? Just letting things happen. You're going to start seeing that there's patterns and intelligence that keep cycling through the new moons, the full moons, through every winter, every summer. You're going to start to understand, even if you don't start studying astrology outright, because you won't even have to. When the planets and stars shift and move, you are going to feel it in your life. You're going to feel it in your body. You're going to see it in your dreams. All right? So you're already clear. But on the contrary, you are also going to look and appear to be a riddle to those who don't understand the cycles of life. Those who are not doing the introspection and the self-reflection, those who are not trusting their intuition, and who are rejecting messages from Source Creator that's inviting and calling them in for this nourishment, for this healing, for this self-awareness, for this self-knowledge. All right? To this person, you are now a riddle. And they are so angry that they are losing you. And they're so angry because now more than ever, viewer, they see that they are in a state of spiritual poverty and you are not. All right? So just be prepared for that. Just be prepared for that. You may have to set some more boundaries around the fall season. All right? When some folks feel jilted because you're moving on and they see that you have great value in their life. So why not figure out a way to make things work, right? But this person, while they're jealous of you, while they want what you have, they can't come along. They just have not participated in certain levels of their healing that they can be around you. It's as if you having this person in your company while they're still in this unhealed, hostile place where they're giving you evil eye intentionally or unintentionally because they're jealous of you and they want what you have and all that. Having that energy around you is going to hamper your evolution and development because you're going to have to then make yourself a teacher or a tutor to whoever this person or these people are that you're going to let go of who don't want to do the work. So let's be clear. This person wants to hang on to you. They want access to you. They want your wisdom. They want proximity to your shine, okay? Because you are valuable to them. But they don't want to do the work to keep you around in a healthy relationship, friendship dynamic. And that in and of itself is dysfunctional. So do what you will, viewer. Do what you will. But what I'm seeing in the cards here is come September, October 2025, you're going to have to set some firm boundaries with people and you're going to have to see your relationships clearly for what they are. Some folks are not ready to move on with you. They don't get to come into this next chapter. All right. So to wrap up your 2025, here we have the November, December pile. And we have Mother. Beautiful card. This looks like a snake coiled up in a nest. And look at the pearl that it's protecting at the very center. So what this is letting me know is that come winter 2025, you're going to be retreating, going inwards, right? It's winter time. The energy in general starts to get redirected inward. All right. Summertime, we're all external. We're that fiery king energy that we saw. You're self-empowered. You're self-actualizing. You're making moves in the world. But in the late season, coming into winter, you're going to be more in this domestic Cancerian energy where you're going to pull your energy back into yourself again for another fuel injected, active self-love session. It's the best way I can describe that. So the months of November and December for you is going to be a time of nurturing. So perhaps you will have contracted or removed yourself from whatever these conflicts are while you're vetting and clearing away your social circle, cleaning up the energies and the environment around you, who you allow to access your energy, where you put your energy, so on and so forth. And once you've made that clarity, you've gone through some of those conflicts that are going to come your way, you are now in a place where you're directing your energy back inwards to yourself. Okay, so taking it away from socializing to some degree, pulling back from the conflicts that have been coming to you, and you're going to direct that energy inward to nourish and heal. Here we have knowledge. The number 34 and the number 7 will be important. So 3, you are guided. 4, to build your foundation. And when we have 7, that is a spiritual guidance, path, purpose. Okay, crown chakra. This is higher energetic being. So you're going to retreat, direct your energy back towards yourself as the pearl. You're going to nourish your pearl, pull your energy back in, because remember, you're not just sharing your wisdom and your energy with anyone, you are being more protected, more guided, more cautious, more selective, because your concept of self-love has expanded at this point in 2025. You have a greater respect for yourself, for your energy. And I'm noticing here there's a hand that's just hovering right above this pearl in the middle of this image here. And again, I can't help but notice this sort of like braided motif. Both the skin of this snake, the body of the snake, is woven, and also the nest that it's in is woven. So this is some kind of protection and incubation. This is an intentional co-creating. So you're not going to withdraw in this mother maternal Cancerian energy out of fear or anger. It's not going to be that. This is something that's going to be more internally directed. You're just going to feel the natural. Again, you're learning about cycles in 2025 in a way that you've never really practically utilized or learned of them before. So now that you have this wisdom, you are actively weaving. You know when it's time to create and express, and you know when it's time to go within and receive. And this is the time where you're going to go in and you're going to receive some more much needed knowledge. The winter months is usually the time where spiritual education happens. And then comes spring and summer, everybody's back into their body, back into their fiery inspirations, planting seeds, getting out into the world, okay? But you're going to retreat into this knowledge energy. 9 of Pentacles. So you're developing a greater sense of self-respect, independence, self-confidence, and also you may be increasing your practice of gratitude in these months. You may be journaling or have a gratitude journal with this knowledge that we have here. And then we also have hesitation, decision, confusion, worry. So as you go within and develop more knowledge and nourish your pearl, nourish your energy, your wisdom, the tenderness in your heart, all that you are. Okay, so you're going to nourish yourself. You're going to learn some more things. You're going to develop greater awareness or greater independence. You're going to be more in your element at this point. You'll feel that much more established in the work you've been doing. This is beautiful. You're in your garden. You've cultivated your garden, okay? And that's what we see here is more cultivation of your spirit, more cultivation of your body, all right? More refinement, more self-awareness. But there's going to be some hesitation that's going to come to you in November, December. So let's take a look. What is this hesitation? I'm going to pull a couple of cards on this. What's this hesitation that my viewer is going to experience at the end of 2025 in the months of November and December? What is this about? Here we have the Queen of Swords, followed by the 7 of Cups. So, it looks like you're going to be contemplating all that you've done at the end of the year, which makes sense, you know. At the end of the year, take stock, take audit, revise, review. What were you most proud of the year that just passed? What are you most thankful of? What have you learned in this previous year? Okay. Oh, as soon as I said that, 10 of Cups. What have you learned in this previous year? So 2025 is really going to be about community for you. Being nurtured and being nurtured by community. So this is reciprocity. You're both giving and receiving healing, care, belonging, community. And it looks like your hesitation is just around look at all that's happened, right? Look at this, all that you've gone through, all of these options. So much has occurred. So, as you are taking stock at the end of your year, part of the hesitation or the concern is did you make the right choices with letting some people go? Did you make the right choice investing in developing your spiritual awareness and your intuition this past year? That's part of the hesitation because it looks like you have a concern. This gives me an energy of waiting for the other shoe to drop. We have 2 of Cups and the 10 of Swords. So, part of the reason why you are in hesitation and confusion is, yeah, you're worried if you've done the right thing this past year. Did you make the right choices? But also, you're worried and or concerned that this newfound community that you've established or fortified or created actively, that you wove for yourself intentionally, your concern is if that is going to fall away. And that's the waiting for the other shoe to drop energy that I'm picking up on. You want to know if things are just going to fall to shit and you're going to be in a place of always having to defend yourself to other people, explain yourself to other people, fight off haters, those who are jealous, who don't want to do the work for themselves, but just want to watch you and knock you off your square with defamation, evil eye, whatever the case is. And the fact of the matter is that life is going to keep lifing. You're going to have people that like you, who thrive with you, who jive with you, who are part of your community. And then you're going to have other folks that are just not for you. And that's okay. Not everyone is for everyone. All right? Not everything is for everybody. So this is going to look like, or rather, this looks like something that might take a little bit of time for you to digest, viewer. I see here almost a process of rumination. You've taken some new leaps in 2025. You are doing some new things you have never done before. You have truly put your neck out there. You have been the most vulnerable in 2025, or you're going to be. The most authentic, the most vulnerable, the most out there, the most exposed in your sharing your gifts, your talents, your skills, in whatever way this looks like around your strong psychic and spiritual ability. You're going to have some of that self-doubt. Did I do the right thing? And this is a healthy process of self-reflection, but also the energy I'm getting from it here too is that this hesitation and worry is a trauma response for some of you. It's like anytime you display confidence or stand up for yourself or display assertiveness, that makes you a bad person. That makes you somebody that deserves to be rejected. Perhaps you are used to being in codependent or enmeshed relationships, which brings me back to what we saw a couple of months back, a couple of piles back, where there's that King of Wands reverse that is wanting to get in your face. You may have been more codependent with some of the people around you. You may have allowed your self-concept to be informed by the attitudes, beliefs, and opinions of the people around you. And you've lived most of your life in this way, normalizing this enmeshed dynamic. Again, this is the weaving concept, enmeshment. You were enmeshed with other people in ways that were unhealthy or dysfunctional, where you were not allowed to have boundaries. And I think this is part of what's coming up here, is that because boundary setting is new for you, because you being in a state of empowerment is going to be and feel new to you in the year of 2025, you are going to feel as if, like almost, what's the word I want to find? A hypervigilance, okay? Where you'll take a healthy action, but because it's something that's outside of your comfort zone, because you're used to making yourself small in order to make other people around you feel comfortable. This is something that's gone in 2025. You are actively cutting that out. You are now garnering your self-concept based on what you've learned about yourself. You are now in this independence energy in a way that you've never been before. And do understand and know, for those who are responding terribly to your new boundaries that you are setting, because you're so used to being enmeshed and people pleasing and making yourself small for the sake of others around you to feel more comfortable about themselves, because we know they're not doing the work, at least that King of Wands reverse that we saw here, this particular person who doesn't want to let you go is not doing their spiritual work. And so they want you to stay stuck in the mud with them. They want you to stay stuck in the mud with them, all the while you make believe that you are small, so that this person can feel aggrandized, can feel validated, can feel important, can feel superior, all based on nothing that they've done, because they're not doing anything. It's all based on how small they can get you to feel. That's how this person is acquiring their self-concept. If I can make the viewer feel small, then I feel good about myself. And I don't actually have to do any kind of personal work that would bring me into a healthy state of empowerment, that would bring me into a healthier state of autonomy and sovereignty to go out and live my life and fulfill my soul's highest path and purpose. This particular person is not interested in doing that for whatever reason. And while that's okay, they have the choice of exercising their free will. What they don't have the right to is to have access to you, someone who is actively putting in the hours, the time, the tears, the sweat, the blood to heal, to have connection with your spiritual team, to take accountability for the decisions you've made in your life, to practice self-compassion and forgiveness, to heal, to transform, to evolve. You're doing the work. But there are people around you who are in a state of arrested development, who are, like I said, stuck in the mud. And they don't want to do anything to move themselves ahead. They just want to push you down to make themselves feel better, right? They're just taking the easy way out. So be mindful of that. Definitely be mindful of that. Be kind with yourself. What I would say is develop a group, find some peer support, or look for groups around boundary setting. Or if you're able to access this, access a therapist or a mental health professional who can support you, especially someone that specializes in boundary setting. Work with this person, work with other people who are doing this boundary setting work with you. Maybe you have classmates that you're taking a class on boundaries with, where you have, a peer group or a social group that you can bounce ideas off of. That might be one of the best things for you, because as we saw for 2025 viewer, one of your strong suits, what's going to help you be resourced during all of this spiritual evolution and the knob turning up to high definition, what's going to support you through all of that is having community. 10 of Cups. You've got to find the right groups of people. And you may have more than one group. For instance, you may be taking a course, like I said, for example, on boundary setting. Okay. And you may have classmates that you can work with for a period of time, so that when you do test out boundary setting in your own life for the first time and it feels awkward and you fumble and you're all over the place, that you have people you can go to and be like, oh my goodness, I just set my first boundaries with this person that I never set boundaries with, and they gave me some pushback, and I almost wanted to recant on my boundaries, but I didn't. And now here I am at home and I'm crying and I'm hypervigilant and I'm worried that I was rude or mean or I hurt the other person's feelings. So it's good to have a group around you who can say, you know what, that's okay. That's part of boundary setting. That's what we learned in class today, remember? You're going to feel this remorse, this awkwardness, because this is brand new to your nervous system. As someone who's been people pleasing your whole life, you have never had or never been taught, and it was never modeled to you, how to set healthy boundaries and still maintain connection. And so that's going to be some of the aspects of the work that you're going to be taking on. So that's one example. And then maybe you have another group where you actively do spiritual practices with, or an accountability group around gratitude journaling or setting intentions, or maybe you have a friend group that you start or you join a coven, or a couple of people who like to do, lunar magic or manifestation once a month. Whatever it is, I would say that 2025, from the cards that we're seeing here for you, viewer, is a time for you to lean into community like no other time, because you're going to be going through such drastic, deep, much needed transformation. And to keep yourself grounded, you need to make sure that you have support systems supporting you in the form of human resources, people who are on a similar path, a similar direction, and at minimum, people who want to understand you and provide you with support on your journey, even if they're not in the same place, even if they don't share the same spiritual practices or belief system. All right, so I'm going to pull these cards away. I'm going to go ahead and get the astrology dice involved to wrap up our 2025 year at a glance. Here we've got Scorpio on the scene. We have the 7th house. That's Libra energy. And I'm not sure how to take this one dice here. This one die is kind of in between signs. I'm going to toss this one again. All right, and we've got the moon. So, viewer, this is going to be a year, 2025 is a year of deep transformation, deep spiritual transformation. You are going to be the phoenix, embracing this scorpionic energy of life, death, and rebirth. Because this year, 2025, is going to be a year of huge rebirth for you. As you are now coming into greater balance and understanding within yourself with this Libra energy, you're learning to love yourself. Libra is ruled by Venus. So this is an opportunity for you to really balance the scales. Like I said, walk the middle path. Don't go too extreme into spiritual practices where you abandon your physical needs. And don't go so extreme into materialism that spirituality is nothing but a fantasy or story for you. You've got to find the middle, the sweet spot. That is the golden path. That is the middle way of balance that this Libra energy is showing you to embrace. So that's your literal instructions on how to navigate your spiritual path for 2025 is governed by this Libra energy. Just stay in the center of the path, okay? And you are sure to succeed. Then here, let me get my dice up here so you can see them. And here with this lunar energy, this is bringing me back to Cancer. That mother card that we saw with that beautiful pearl in the middle. This is about you recognizing yourself as that pearl. You've gone through much hardships, trauma, challenges, setbacks, and it's all brought you to this place of being a shiny pearl. You have greater self awareness and understanding. You have deepened in your maturity, both intellectually and spiritually. And so, what this moon card is here for is to show the importance of the nurturing that you need for yourself in 2025. Take care of your mental health, nourish your body. Maybe it's time for you to, revamp your home a little, do a little home renovation, all right? Or create a space in your home where you can make an altar, or practice your meditations, or light your candles, whatever it is. Really lean into creating an environment for yourself in 2025, be it a general declared statement, an affirmation day to day, or whether it's an actual constructed space that you can go into that supports your spiritual connectivity. This is what is being asked of you. You are now pouring out into the world in 2025. You are sharing your psychic and spiritual abilities with the world. And as you are pouring out in this healing way, what is also being asked of you, as I mentioned before, is learning the tides. So one tide, you're pouring out. The next tide, you are receiving. And it's all about that balance for you. Again, with that Libra energy. Know when it's time to give and know when it's time for you to step back and receive. And it looks like you're really going to naturally embrace this pattern, this wave, this cycle, because come November, December 2025, you are going to be tapping into a very domestic, nurturing, maternal energy where you're pouring back into yourself, where you're gaining more knowledge on how to pour into yourself. So, viewer, all in all, it looks like 2025 is going to be a very, very powerful year for you. I don't know if you can hear my little kitty in the background, but she's also doing her meows to confirm this is going to be a very powerful year for you. All right, so that is the message. If you enjoy the way that I read, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All of your shares and views help to boost the algorithm and help my channel to grow, and it helps me to create more wonderful content for you to access. So I will be seeing you in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye.